you, Chairman. Administrator Davidson, it's good to be with you. We last visited during your confirmation hearing, and I enjoyed our exchange. And at that exchange, you gave me a few assurances about the massive broadband grant program you'd be taking charge of as NTIA administrator. So I'd like to start with your commitment to focus the broadband funding on unserved areas as opposed to underserved areas. Closing the digital divide, of course, won't be possible without ensuring that these unserved areas are served before a single dollar is focused on the underserved areas. But getting broadband funding to unserved and underserved areas is only as strong as the weakest link. So, you know, it was in this vein that Congress required the FCC to adopt improved maps. And we gave the FCC nearly $100 million, $98 million, to create those maps. When negotiating the infrastructure bill, and I played an active role in that process, the broadband provisions in particular, some of my colleagues and I reluctantly agreed to let NTIA oversee the program, provided that it rely on these FCC maps, which will show service at the location level. This week, you issued guidance that invites the states to use all sorts of flawed data in actually distributing the funds they receive. That's my reading of it. I'll give you an opportunity to respond, sir. Including data from the NTIA website that is out of date and that the agency itself acknowledges may be inaccurate or incomplete. This, of course, puts at risk a key objective of the efforts to ensure there's access and deployment of broadband. It also puts at risk your assurance to this committee, as I read it, that you would focus on unserved area first. And it directly contradicts another assurance you made to me when you committed to work with the FCC, utilizing their maps, coordinating on their broadband programs to avoid duplication, and utilizing their expertise when it comes to a challenge process as required by the law. I'll read the relevant passage to inform your response, sir, if you like. And this is an opportunity to clarify and explain on the record that you'll be abiding by that previous commitment. So it reads, quote, this is from the guidance, eligible entities are encouraged to begin their planning processes prior to the release of the FCC's broadband data maps, period. In this situation, comma, eligible entities may utilize all available sources of existing data, such as state-level data, existing FCC data, national broadband availability maps, so on and so forth, and other sources, period. There's not the specificity indicating you can only use FCC maps. So will you commit to ensuring that the states use high-quality data that track the new FCC maps and update your guidance accordingly, sir?
Yes. So I am familiar with the provision you're speaking about. Thank you for raising the question. First of all, I just want to start by saying I assure you we remain committed to using the FCC's maps as instructed by the statute for the purposes of allocation. And those are going to be what we expect states to use when they look at their unserved areas and underserved areas. And we are also committed to, as you and I spoke about, and I think you'll see it in this notice, really focusing on the unserved communities and then the underserved communities as is indicated in the statute. The provision you're reading from, just to give you some assurance, is about the planning process. And we were contemplating a period, like right now, for example, where the FCC's maps are not yet available, but that we want to encourage eligible entities, that's states and territories, to be able to do their planning and to be doing it based on the best available data that they could get. So right now, for example, a state may have submitted its letter of intent to be part of our program. They're going to get a $5 million planning grant. We want them to be doing planning. We want them to use the best data they can. There's no FCC map yet available. So that's what this speaks to. And rest assured, sir, we are committed to using the FCC maps.
That's fantastic. I will not have to break my promise to Hoosiers and other Americans that I helped negotiate a bill. My office and I, we led this negotiating effort on the broadband provisions. And my pledge is because of our authorization, our allocation of resources, every American will have access to high-quality broadband moving forward. And I believe that will continue to be possible based on your clarification. So thank you so much. And with that, I'll yield back to the chairman.
Thank you, and we look forward to working with you to reach that goal as well.